Man, I hate technology, man.
Yeah, you're having the struggle bus over there, right?
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Oh, I didn't even make like a story post to tell people to come over here, but I mean it's gonna be recorded anyway, so you know,
Okay,
yeah. So
that's
I mean,
fine.
what?
My people about to show up regardless, so we in here.
Oh,
Let's
okay,
do
okay,
it.
cool. How you doing today, though?
I'm great. How are you?
I am blessed, man. I'm blessed. I had to get a tank top on because we working out here, so got to go with the theme real
We
quick. Oh,
getting
you wearing the
fit.
red
We
too.
getting fit.
You know what I'm saying? So, I think you've been on these in the past, right?
hmm
Okay, yeah. So it's just casual conversation, nothing too serious, nothing too crazy. I wanted to start off by asking, have you had any wins this week? Any financial wins or anything?
Financial wins. Yeah. So my dad, I kind of talked about him a lot on the podcast, but
Yeah, yeah.
he actually gave me great news yesterday that we got a piece of an inheritance from my great grandparents who sold their home in Michigan, and we are going to invest it
Nice. Congratulations.
into, thank you. A part of it's going to my son's 529 account. Part of it is going into my investment account and part into his investment account. So that is a major money win because that's what generational wealth is all about.
Definitely. Any additional wins? That's the main one, I'm assuming, or any
That's the
additional?
main one. I'm still within my spending budget and I got till
Okay.
Friday. So if I can keep that, then that's a win for me because I literally had like six packages show up this past week.
Okay, I
So if I
remember.
can, if I
I
can
remember-
keep my spending under control, that's a
Yeah.
win.
Okay, I remember on the podcast you were saying you've been doing a lot of shopping and stuff. So okay,
Yeah, I've
okay,
been living my best life over here, but it's all good.
yeah, okay. Okay, for the people in the audience, this is the Debt Free Podcast post interview live. Basically, with my podcast, I interview people that are debt free within the Black community to help representation and stuff. And one of the options I do is I do these lives just to give a perspective on the guests. So that's what we're doing today. And the episode drops tomorrow at 6 a.m. Pacific time, 9 a.m. Eastern time. So make sure y'all
It's
follow at Debt
lit.
Free
I'm so
Podcast. You know what I'm saying?
excited.
We'll follow that and then you'll be able to see it. So I wanted to start off by asking, how does it feel being debt free? You don't owe people.
It's amazing. It's so freeing and very stress free. It's something that not that I didn't think I could do, but definitely I didn't know what it would feel like on the other side, and it's mind blowing how great it is to be able to keep so much of my money because I eliminated so many bills.
That's a fact. That's a fact. So what would you say is your relationship with money? I know you mentioned your dad, but just for the audience
Yeah.
real quick.
So it's really good, except for when I go on my spending spree. So I like to call it a roller coaster, but it's like a really fun roller coaster, like those roller coasters you want to keep getting on over and over and over again.
Yeah.
But it's great. It's great. I check my budget literally daily, multiple times a day, my bank accounts multiple times a day. If they were to pull like the records of how many times I've logged into my bank account, even when nothing's changing, they would be like, she has a serious problem. So it's a great relationship.
Do you feel like that helps you more, or does it like stress you out by doing that?
No, I think it helps me more. It just, especially the more I look at my budget, the more I crunch numbers. So,
Yeah.
the more I dive into it, the more I'm like, okay, I didn't spend this much as much here, or this is how much I have left to spend here. It kind of just gets my wheels turning on what I can do to either stay within budget or what I can do to lower budgets, lower, regular expenses, living expenses, things like that. So, the more I'm in there, the better my budget gets. That's for sure.
Okay, cool. So we're talking to Brittany of Fit Moments. You want
Yes.
to give us like a little, I guess, a minute, 2 minute summary on who you are?
Yeah, so I am a mother of one. He's probably going to make an appearance, so I'm going to apologize ahead of time
No,
because
don't
he's probably going to
apologize. Don't
pull up
apologize.
on us here pretty soon. But I'm a mommy to one. I live in North Carolina. I'm actually originally from Michigan. I paid off my student loans right out of college within the 2.5 years after graduation. And I then got into more debt again with car loans and medical bills, hospital bills, credit cards, a variety of things. And then I paid about 20,000 of that off within 11 and a half months in the middle of the pandemic. Um, and what else about me? I love to work out. If you follow me on Fit Mom Mans, I'm always working out. I'm trying to eat healthy-ish. Sometimes I mean, chicken wings are like my jam, so there's just some things I can't give up. Bread is, carbified, and I love carbs too, so it's just who I am. But I stay in the gym. I'm on a really good routine right now to go 3 times a week, which just works with work and my son and still having time for everything else. Um, when I'm not in the gym and I'm not working, and then I'm definitely spending time with my son and pouring into him and his learning and growth and development. I am watching shows sometimes, doing a lot of self-care, making sure I take time for me, spending times with my friend or with my family and friends. I love to travel as well. So yeah, that's pretty much Brittany at Fit Mom Ants.
So how much did you
I'm
pay
the
off your
oldest of
student
five.
loans? Oh, what?
Sorry, I meant to say that. I'm the oldest of five.
Okay,
I have
okay,
five
okay, okay,
siblings.
cool. Okay, awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. So how much did you pay off in student loans?
Oh, I had $26,000 in student loans.
Okay, perfect, perfect, perfect.
hmm
Okay, so how did you exactly pay off the student loan debt? You went over it in the episode, but give us like the Cliff
Yeah.
Notes.
So I actually worked 2 jobs, and I also moved back into my mother's basement. And I also lived in my dad's spare bedroom for 2 years. So I was in my mom's basement for a year, and then I was in my dad's spare bedroom for 2 years. I worked 2 jobs, and every paycheck from my second job went directly to my student loans. So it was like a minimum of, I would get commission checks. So it was like a minimum of $1,000 that I would send a month to my loans to pay them off so frequently. Um, and I actually started paying them off before I graduated. I had a semester off in between in between fall and spring because the class that I wanted was not offered in the winter. So in that winter semester, I actually started paying off my loans already before I was even done. But whatever, because the bill was going to come regardless. They was going to want their money regardless. So I just started paying it off.
So I know that most people, I think, or a lot of people, they don't even start thinking about paying until they about to damn near graduate, or even when they graduate. What made you start paying it off during school?
Um, I just knew that the bill was going to come. I mean, each each semester you have to go to the financial aid office or your tuition's due or whatever the case may be. So you know that they're needing money at somehow, some way. So it was a no, surprise to me that I was going to have student loans or I was going to need to pay them back. What made me want to pay them back earlier is seriously that they were going to want them regardless. I can have, a 6-month grace period, but if all that's going to do is prolong me paying them off, then why not just jump in? So I was like, let me just do this because I want them gone regardless. Um, and I knew that that bill was there and it started from, when I started in college and all the way through. So regardless, it was going to need to be paid.
You did better than me. I waited till after college.
Yeah, a lot of people use the grace period, and that's completely fine. I mean, getting out of college and trying to secure a job or whatever the case may be, figure out where you're going to live, what life looks like post grad is very transforming, I would say. So it's okay to take that time. I wouldn't, say that you have to do it one way or another, but I do know no matter which way you do it, they want their coins. So,
Just to reset the room, anyone on Clubhouse knows that language. This is a debt-free podcast, post-live interview. And this is basically where I talk to the guests before the episode drops. Episode drops tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern time, 6 a.m. Pacific time. If you want to get more information, follow at Debt Free Podcast. Right now, we're talking to Brittany about how she actually paid off her student loans, the mindset to pay it off before college ended. And I'm transitioning into my next question. You guys, if you guys have questions, drop them down below. I'm not the only one that has to ask questions. If you have anything for Brittany, go ahead and ask her. But they did I think it's no interest until January 31st. And
Yeah.
February 1st, people have to start paying on their interest again. Let's say you have student loans today. What would be your plan moving forward before we get to February 1st?
My plan so they stopped that last year, what, August? No, I don't even know when that happened. March, April,
We
May?
don't got student loans. We don't got enough.
So what I would have done when they stopped it was just save the money that I would have paid on it and just save it all up and then through a lump sum before the interest started again, because that would be a direct principal only payment. If when the interest starts back up, if it does, because at this point we don't know what they're gonna do. But if it starts back up, then my recommendation would be to pay more than what your interest is on top of your payment, because your payment can be a set amount, but then you still have to cover interest. So you're not going to be able to make a hole or dent in that principal balance until you pay over what you really need to pay. And I would recommend making multiple payments a month or a once a week, whatever the case may be, so you can attack the principal and, try to get ahead of the interest, because it's chasing you for sure. It's like a boulder in Crash Bandicoot. I don't know if y'all used to play Crash Bandicoot, but the boulder used to come down and you used to run. Yeah, that's student loan interest. That's what it reminds me of.
Did you pay during your journey? Did you pay the minimum, or you paid above the minimum? What's your
I
recommendation?
paid above the minimum every single month.
Like how much?
So honestly, when I was paying off my student loans, I don't even know what the minimum payment was, because I had started before I was even done with school. But when I was paying them, I would send a minimum of $1,000 to my loan. So I got 2 paychecks, one from my main job and then one from my side hustle, and then a commission check. So that commission check always was a minimum of $1,000. And then the other 2 checks that were hourly, I would also send there. But that would be based on how many hours I worked. So, yeah.
Okay. And we're going until I'm Pacific time, so we're going until 5:40 or 8:40 Eastern time. So we got 18 minutes if y'all got any questions. But we got a question in the comments. How did you stay disciplined with paying off your debt?
2 things. One, you have to know your why. What's the reason behind doing it in the first place? When you're reminded of your why, mine personally was my son and to build generational wealth. So staying, making sure that you're in a community or that you have someone, an accountability partner, the debt-free community, the Black personal finance community on Instagram is very good. But just someone that's keeping you motivated and making you remember why you're doing this, that you can do it. And then the second thing was that also helped me stay disciplined, was making a list of debt-free wants. So I had a huge list of things that I wanted to buy so bad, or experience or travel. But I would add it to this debt-free wants list, so that when I felt discouraged, I would go to this list and be like, if I keep fighting and if I just stick to this, then I can buy all this stuff when I'm done as my treat, or, as my reward. So remembering your why and coming up with a debt-free wants list, kind of like a reward system and why you're doing everything that you're doing.
Great answer. What's the best piece of financial advice you've ever received?
The best piece of financial advice I ever received was probably that you coming to the realization that you don't have to live in debt. Like, it's not the way of life. There is another way. Some people think it's just normal to have a car note, and it's normal to, have student loans and let them hover over you or have a balance on them for years and years and years. that it's normal to, you know, run up credit cards and just pay the minimum balances. And as long as you can cover the minimum, it's fine. But the advice I was given is that that's not how you have to live. Like that's stressful. Somebody always in your pockets taking money out. I mean, the government is already taking taxes out off the top.
Man.
So, so listen, why have somebody else needing money from you, you know, for things that you could either save for and pay for in cash or budget out correctly. But when you don't have those debt payments, you are seriously in full control of your money and what you want to do with it. When you have debt, you don't have as much control because you owe XYZ money because you have these balances with them.
Good answer. Good answer. I love that. Could you marry someone that has student loan debt? Just curious.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
absolutely. But you're not gonna have that debt forever, whoever you are. We paying that baby off, okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Debt free is a way of life. It's literally a lifestyle change. It's a mindset change. It's a you transform as a person and how you
Hmm.
think about money and your relationship with money.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, I totally agree that anybody with any type of debt, you can marry them. I just think that you guys have to be on the same page about money and how you're going to handle getting out of debt together. Because when you work as a team, you're way more powerful and strong than trying to do it on your own.